Good evening. On behalf of the Goodwin family, thank you so much for coming tonight. I know that for Randy and for the family, you're a real blessing. You may not realize that, but you are, to be here and love him and the family at a time like this. We're grateful that you're here. So would you pray with me as we commit this time to the Lord, as we can celebrate together Kathy's life and the things that the Lord did through her in our life as well. Father, how thankful we are tonight as we gather together that in what certainly is one of the toughest days of any of our lives, losing someone that we love is not destructive in the sense that we don't know what comes next. We aren't left hanging, we're not left wondering, we're not left hoping only, but we have an assurance that comes from you, that you love us, that you have sent your Son to save us, and because of his work, we know this evening that Kathy is out of pain and out of sorrow and blessed, and that one day we will get to be reunited with her. And so, Lord, as we come to celebrate what her life meant to us, may you speak to us about what your life should mean to us and what you've come to do and why you came, so that we might leave here, though sad, brokenhearted, maybe even wondering what comes next. We won't despair like those who have no hope, because we've known what your plan has been for us all along. So speak to us, comfort us, pour your Spirit out on this place, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
The sun comes out, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship his holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship your holy name. You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship his holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship your holy name. And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come, still my soul will sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship his holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship your holy name. I'll worship your holy name. Yes, I worship your holy name. Kathy's dreams and desires was to be able to go to Israel, the land where Jesus walked, and spend time there, close to those places that Jesus ministered and spent time with his disciples. She got to do that. And I had the privilege of being able to be on that trip with Randy and Kathy. And there was a morning when we were at the Sea of Galilee that we gathered very early, just before dawn, and went over by the waterfront and spent some time in worship and prayer together. It was a glorious time. And I sang a song that I guess she kind of grew fond of. And I actually was able to do that song for her when she was in hospice. And she really was weak at that point, couldn't speak much, but as I was doing the song, she mouthed along with me as I was singing. So look at the screen and you'll see what things looked like there at the Sea of Galilee.
Help me find a way, Lord, bring me back to you. You're all I want. You're all I've ever needed. You're all I want. Help me know you are here. Draw us closer in this place of your birth, your ministry, the roads that you walked, Jesus. All these 2,000 years later, you are still walking with your people. In this land, all around the world. Draw us close. Yes, Jesus.
Draw me close to you. Never let me go. Lay it all down again. To hear you say that I'm your friend. You are my desire. No one else will do, 'cause nothing else can take your place. To feel the warmth of your embrace. Help me find a way, Lord, bring me back to you. You're all I want. You're all I've ever needed. You're all I want. Help me know you are near. Draw me close to you. Never let me go. it all down again, to hear you say that I'm your friend. You are my desire, no one else will do. Nothing else can take your place. To feel the warmth of your embrace, help me find a way, bring me back to you.
I'm sure as over the last couple of days, as you've thought about your relationship with Kathy, that a lot of things came to mind. I suspect we could be here all night taking turns speaking about her relationship to you, the effect that she had. My dad used to, I hit my head one time as a kid, and my dad said, "That's going to leave a mark." And I thought, well, that's very sympathetic. But at the same time, he was right. It left a mark. You can see it up here, now that my hair's gone. I think death is that way. People leave marks on us, and they should. And we shouldn't be the same because of our relationship with them. And certainly Kathy fits into that category, doesn't she? So we're not going to let all of you get up here and speak tonight because we'll be here all night, and rightfully so. But we've asked one of Kathy's coworkers to come and speak to us a little bit about her. Randy's going to come and share a little bit about his wife. I think he's brave to do that tonight. Very good. But I would really encourage you in the days and weeks to come, as you get in contact with the family, would you tell them the things that you most remember that encourage you, because it's going to bless them as well. And it'll be good coming the next day or the next week to hear those good things to come. So Melissa Cortez, if you'll come up. I don't know how you're going to cover 30 years in a few minutes, but you're going to try.
To follow that?
No.
Okay. First of all, my name is Melissa. I've worked with Kathy for the last 16 years in same-day surgery. Okay. I like to say I'm so honored to be speaking here on her behalf. You know, people ask me, what are you going to say? Do you know what you're going to say? I mean, of course, I have a lot of things to say. People know I talk a lot, nonstop. But my goal is to say all the right things so that you know how incredible she was. But you guys all know that. You're all here for her. And you can just feel her love. Can you feel her love? I'm sorry. I said I wasn't going to read. Okay, let me share a memory I have of Miss Kathy. When I first started in same day, I was a young mom, single mom with 3 young kids, and my kids always constantly brought fundraisers to school. to work, I always was trying to sell something or other for school. So I set this cheesecake fundraiser in the lounge, and Miss Kathy sits there, and Kathy always had a sweet tooth, her love for chocolate. And I set this fundraiser down. When I come back, there's $100, at least maybe $200 worth of cheesecakes. So I bring all these cheesecakes, I deliver them, I put them in the freezer, and then she has everyone from our department go back and pick a cheesecake, because that's what Kathy did. She gave you gifts. She left random notes in your locker. She gave you pins to tell you she was thinking about you, that she loved you. Her presence in the room commanded respect, because when she was in the room, you wanted to be the best version of yourself for her, because the love of Christ was constantly shining through her. When you spoke, she listened to you. She remembered my mom's name, my grandma's name, every niece, nephew, because she was constantly praying for people. If you knew Kathy, she was praying for you. She didn't push religion on you. She just wanted she wanted to be the example. Sorry. You knew she was never judging you. You could be yourself. She never judged because I was a single mom or because I made some, maybe bad decisions in life. But she was just there to support you, constantly. I asked some friends what were some words they would use to describe Miss Kathy. Selfless, hardworking, giver. She gave of herself. She worked through breaks. Anything she could do for you, she did for you. I'm not sure what else I want to say. There's just so much to say. But my kids remembered her. When I would talk about Kathy, they would come home and they go, "Which one's Kathy?" They're like, "Oh, the sweet nurse." She was the sweet nurse. So we always knew Miss Kathy was the sweet one. I mean, not that everybody else wasn't nice, but they always knew Miss Kathy was the sweet nurse. There's so many memories. They knew later on when the boys got older, they remembered her as a speed racer. They drove down Lambert in her Corvette. That was another memory. I asked my kids what they remembered, but it was I don't know, just so much. There's just so much. But I can go on and tell you a lot more, but I'll just keep it short. But I just want to say that Miss Kathy loved each and every one of us here. Everybody that's here, she loved everybody, and she gave of herself in any way she could. Thank you.
Okay, big guy. We have boxes of Kleenex, Randy.
If I lose it up here, there's not a box of Kleenex that'll contain it.
Okay, here. Hang on to this.
Okay. My name's Randy Goodwin. I'm the grieving widower, I guess, now that I'd be referred to. But first thing I want to do is I want to thank everybody for coming. And I just wanted to clarify something. I have my bullet points that I was going to go through while I was waiting for everybody to show up, but nobody let me look at my notes, so now I'm getting to look at them. So if I mess up, that's because I wanted to say hi to you guys instead of looking at my notes, which I think is more important. Anyway, I wanted to thank everybody for coming, and a lot of people wrote Kathy cards and letters, and she was always diligent about sending cards and letters back, and she got so sick where she couldn't even look down to write without getting sick. So she, in her own way, actually felt guilty. But she did tell me that everybody that commented on Facebook and letters and cards and phone calls, that she said, I want everybody to know that's thinking about me and praying for me, that she says, I'm praying that the Lord would bless them. And I thought, isn't that Kathy? It's not about her, it's about them. So I wanted to give kind of a short history on Kathy. She was born in Daniel Freeman Hospital 350 days after I was. And so she kind of led the way there, but I didn't meet her for another 22 years. And actually the day she passed was 4 days after our 40th anniversary of meeting, and we always celebrated meeting as a sort of an anniversary of its own. So we would go out to dinner or do something fun, and so the way that we met, though, is everybody knows I'm into cars, and it was because the car she was in was breaking down on the way to Huntington Beach on a Sunday morning with her and with Debbie. Anyway, her car was breaking down, so they made it back to their house in La Mirada. I was working at a church down the street recording the church service for people that couldn't come with her friend, and his car was broken down too, so we had to take my car to go over there and meet her. And I was 22 years old and I was a knucklehead, and I always thought, I don't want to meet a girl that's attracted to a knucklehead. I would rather get through the knucklehead part and then have somebody attracted to me when I was no longer a knucklehead. So, but this is the truth, and I've told her this several times since I met her. When I walked up there, not even looking or thinking about a girlfriend, she was sitting on the curb next to the car when we pulled up, and I got out and I looked down, and my heart just went. And I knew in my heart, I don't even know her name. And she just looked up at me, and in my soul, I knew she was the one. And I cannot to this day explain it except to say, when I was 12 years old, my mom and I would sit at the edge of my bed praying for this girl who was going to be my wife, who I had no clue who she was. She didn't know who I was. That the Lord would prepare my heart for her and vice versa. And I think it was just divine providence that their car broke down, his was broke down, mine was the only car running at the time, so we took my car and I went over there and I met her. So we dated for a long time, and we did things most people don't do in dating, and that was one of our most fun things was when my brother-in-law called me up and said he found a house in foreclosure. So I talked to Kathy, and she said that would be fun. So we bought a house in foreclosure, and in 3 months we flipped it after doing the kitchen and the bath. So instead of going to Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm, we're at Color Tile and Builder's Emporium. And we found out in that we were so compatible. We had similar tastes, we had similar goals, and so we took that money and we opened up a Christmas tree lot at Pointy and Imperial Highway on the northwest corner, and we did that until, yeah, he's laughing because he took over the Christmas tree lot. Because if you want to ruin Christmas, open a Christmas tree lot. Because when Christmas Day gets in there, you have not gone Christmas shopping, and you still have 50% of your Christmas trees are still standing there, and you're thinking, uh-oh. And you have to pay for those trees too. But anyway, so Kathy actually said yes to getting married to me, and I remember after she got married to me, I'm thinking, I can't believe this because she's such a special person. And everybody knows Kathy was so, like Melissa was saying, Kathy was so, she was the best way to describe her would probably be, she was maybe all about you and less about her. She was Christ-like. Rick Bowe is here. He came up to me one time, and then a couple other people said the same thing. They walk up to Kathy. They know she's got cancer. They ask, Kathy, how are you doing? And he said, within 1 minute, we're talking about how I'm doing because she's flipped it around, and now she's worried about how I'm doing. And that was kind of Kathy in a nutshell. And I thought, how is it that God has given me this incredible person? Because that's how she always was. So I actually told her, I said, I've decided you've got 2 flaws. And she said, what? I said, I've decided you've got 2 flaws. I said, you've got poor eyesight and you lack good judgment because you married me. And she said, no, that's not true. I said, see, you've confirmed it again. You're denying it, And so I don't want to repeat some of what she said, which is in my notes here, but there is something on the back table, though, that kind of, I had forgotten all about it, frankly. I was digging for pictures of her, looking through her files and stuff, and I came across this 11 by 14 picture of Becky Wyant, who was her supervisor at the time at PIH, Presbyterian Hospital in Whittier, from back in 2005. She came home with this picture under her arm, and I said, what's that picture? She said, oh, nothing, it's just me and Becky. I said, why would you and Becky be in an 11 by 14 picture? So I said, can I look at it? And she got Employee of the Month out of 2,000 employees. I said, wow, we got to hang this up. No, I don't want to hang it up. Well, then I'll put it up in my office. No, I don't want to put it up in here. No. And so it just disappeared. So I didn't find it until a couple weeks ago when I'm digging for pictures for the PowerPoint that's going to be done in a few minutes. And I looked at that and I thought, isn't that her? She never wanted recognition for anything. She always wanted to work in the background. She volunteered to do things. She tried her best to write little notes of encouragement and do things for people, but everybody recognized her handwriting, because early on you needed a jeweler's loop to read it because she wrote so small. Am I telling the truth? Her handwriting was so small. Yeah. And even with the writing that small, I still have a whole drawer full of every note and card she ever sent me. So this is where my notes get messed up here, but let's see. I'm going to go in order here so it makes sense. Well, kind of on that note, everywhere she went in the cancer journey, she got diagnosed May of 2015, and everywhere she went in her cancer journey, suddenly we're making all these new friends, because they're noticing Kathy's not demanding, she's wanting to be, I don't know if you call it compliant or I don't know what the right word would be, but she was never demanding. She never expected anything of anyone. If somebody came in to give her chemo and somebody in the next room over is hollering and yelling, she'd say, oh, just go help them first. Are you sure? Because, it's your turn. No, I'm fine. So before we know it, we have all of these friends in oncology, all these friends in the infusion center. She goes to UF